Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here. It's time for some more Pokemon news. Let's finish up all the things I didn't cover. Didn't go through the Japanese trailer. Also, there's like the official Pokemon website updating with everything, and then a lot of other information that has come about right now, such as an official Mimikyu plush. PokeShopper news, first ever Beware and Mimikyu plush leaked. So this is a leak, but I am super excited because, of course, there's going to be a ton of Mimikyu merchandise after the song, after the insane success that Mimikyu has had, even before the games have been revealed. I'm going to buy it all, and I'm going to love it, and then the lore of Mimikyu comes true, and then things start getting way too meta, but that's okay. And now let's go into the rest of the Pokemon news. I just can't wait to get some Mimikyu stuff. So I'm going to do what I normally do with all this and actually read the details and figure out everything about the new Pokemon that have been revealed. And now that I'm like clicking on these tabs, holy crap, we just got a lot of stuff, guys. That's 3 Tapus, the final evolutions, and then 2 extra Pokemon. Also, I think the biggest thing is like what is going on with the Alolan Persian. So let's find out. There we go. Okay, the Classy Cat Pokemon, of course, Dark typing, and the abilities. People are talking about how the abilities are going to be pretty solid. Fur Coat, so it will have the chance of being extra tanky right there. And we also have another Fur Coat Pokemon. How awesome is that? But also Technician ability. Regular Persian does have Technician, so Dark Technician moves. Unfortunately, Knockoff doesn't fall in that range, but there will probably be some good usage out of the Persian. Round face of Alolan Persian is a symbol of the rich Alola region. There we go, guys. It's that way for a reason. I kind of called that because Alolan Meowth became this way. It became a Dark type because it came so spoiled that happened. So it's kind of a show of that, you know, it's a fat, pudgy face from being way spoiled. And it's held to be a Pokemon of great beauty. God damn it, Pokemon. Why? I think they're mocking us right now. They know what they have created. But anyone that thinks this Pokemon is not beautiful is now absolutely in the wrong. So it's such a distinctive Pokemon of the Alola region that all Persian are well protected, and strict inspections are required before tourists can be permitted to take one back to their home region. That's right, because that is the face of extreme smuggling and exotic rare Pokemon. Persian is highly intelligent, with an even higher opinion of itself. In general, it looks down on everything other than itself. It doesn't tend to grow attached to its trainer either, so it's a difficult Pokemon to have as a partner in battle. Man, it's like a cat. Who could have guessed that one? Its exquisite coat shines with a glow of high quality and enchants both humans and Pokemon. For this reason, it's a very popular Pokemon in the Alola region. It usually puts on a refined act, but once a battle begins, it will indulge in the most underhanded of tactics, including surprise attacks, trickery, and even foul play. Confirmed. Yet its haughty personality causes it to underestimate its opponents, and it's also often taken in by their counterattacks. Wow. It's like we already knew this is what the description was going to be. But god damn, that is, wow. They hit it way too on the nose right there, and then they had to go and mock us with its beauty. I want one. Okay, next up we have Tapu Fini. So yeah, like this has to be the dolphin Pokemon from the Chinese leaks, even though it doesn't really look super like a dolphin and more similar to a marlin or swordfish. But at the same time, mistranslations, who knows what it could have been. So let's go and find out. This Pokemon is able to recreate special water that purifies both mind and body. Ooh. Many humans have tried to withstand Tapu Fini's fogs in pursuit of its purifying water. Among them were some of the evil intentions, many of which for Tapu's sense of disgust and lack of interest in appearing to people. So it's similarly to the legendary beasts in that way, that people feared its power of a reincarnated Pokemon. So legendary beasts were like, screw you guys, they take off, and then Suicune has purifying water powers as well. So then they like gradually, slightly, sometimes appear to humans just to see if they're worthy. Humans probably do dick things, prove that they're not, and then that shows what is going on right here. So the purifying water is guarded by a fog, and then only the right people can get through the fog. It's able to attack by manipulating water. Water-bending Pokemon! Yeah! Since it hates to risk harm to itself during battle, it prefers to create a thick fog that puts its opponents in a trance and leads them to destroy themselves. Neat. Tapu Fini's expression remains listless even when it's unleashing moves. Some people say that it might look this way because its using moves is so exhausting. This Pokemon's Nature's Madness attack slams targets with all of Nature's Rage, reducing the target's hit points by half. So, all of the Tapu Pokemon get Nature's Madness, which is like a Super Fang, so it drops the opponent to half health no matter what. And also, Misty Surge. An ability that no Pokemon has previously had. With Misty Surge, the field will be turned into Misty Terrain, and having the damage taken by Pokemon on ground from Dragon-type moves and preventing them from being afflicted with status conditions or confusion. So, Misty Terrain, actually, that might be news to some people because a lot of people don't even know what Misty Terrain does from Pokemon X and Y, but that's it. You don't get status conditions, which is a big plus, reduces the damage from Dragon-type moves, and also you can't get confused because sometimes volatile status does and then doesn't count as some kind of status condition. So let's go and find out about the other ones. We'll do Cosmog as well as Primarina. Let's go through all the Tapus. So Tapu Lele. Now this is where things actually start to get interesting because everyone was trying to avoid spoilers from the Demo Datamine. Therefore, I've already talked about this in the past, but I don't think a lot of people caught that video because they didn't want to be spoiled. Because I do know what Psychic Terrain does, which is why I didn't flip out about it in the video. I'm like, oh, cool, now we know about it, but then I didn't realize that like probably half the people watching that video didn't realize what Psychic Terrain does. And also I'm going to like skip over the lore because that's a lot to read and that isn't super interesting stuff. Now waterbending, that's pretty cool, but with Tapu Lele its ability, it's Psychic Surge, so it's going to be like all of the other Surge ones, and then that's just going to set Psychic Terrain, boosting the power of any Psychic type moves by Pokemon on the ground and preventing them from being hit by priority moves, which is why Sucker Punch didn't do anything. That's not just going to like stop Dark type moves or anything, which would actually be really terrifying, but it does stop priority. So Talonflame is getting so much hate this generation. People hate it in the 6th generation, but now people like extra hate Talonflame because Bruxish, Dazzling ability, the evolved form of Bounce Sweet, that ability stops priority, and now a whole field condition set in by one Pokemon stops it. So everyone's like, yo, Tapu Koko is going to be busted because you also get Raichu in there, and then it has Surge Surfer, so it has double speed, but now it's going to be Terrain Wars, and that is going to make the metagame absolutely insane. Like, what do? Do you drop down the Tapu Lele, stop out all the Fake Out? Do you want your electric moves to be boosted? Do you want to make not status happen? Because with electric terrain, Pokemon on the ground don't fall asleep, but then that means that if you have Misty Terrain, your Pokemon aren't going to fall asleep or be confused anyways, but that means you can't do it to your opponent. So you have to think about the status in that kind of way, and it's just naturally coming in. So there's so many crazy combos that could potentially happen, but it's only grounded Pokemon. So if you're trying like an Earthquake Levitate strategy or any kind of flying Pokemon, Talonflame gets extra hated on because it can go to sleep, it can get confused, but none other Pokemon can. So, man, there is a lot of craziness going on. And then let's go into Tapu Bulu. So actually, looking at its design from the leaks, could have maybe guessed grass. A lot of people were thinking fire because we have Oricorio, that maybe its typings would resemble the Pokemon that are going to be the Tapu Pokemon, and that kind of looks red, so fire. But if you look at it, it's got like a cowbell and a bull ring, so maybe, but it's grass fairy Pokemon. So here's where things start getting interesting. Like, a lot of people were looking at Go-Go and thinking it was going to be a really good Pokemon because it sets down grassy terrain, its grass pelt ability benefits from that as well. You can also get all kinds of really good things from the Horn Leech with Stab, so it's supposed to be like a major sustain kind of Pokemon, but that didn't happen. However, we saw this Pokemon use Horn Leech, so it's going to have legendary stats as well, which means it's probably going to replace Go-Goat completely, and it might actually work with the Grassy Surge. Also, if you get Go-Goat next to it, maybe cool things will happen. If this Pokemon gets Bulk Up, that's going to be scary, but let's go and see what we have. An ability no Pokemon has had previously before. With Grassy Surge, field becomes Grassy Terrain, and then Grassy Terrain boosts the power of any Grass-type moves used by Pokemon on the ground, and restoring a bit of hit points at the end of each turn. Also has the damage taken from moves like Earthquake, Magnitude, and Bulldoze. So actually, like, helps you by staying on the ground, which means their flying strategy, levitate strategy, is further reduced. So it's like, this is also kind of a pseudo Garchomp nerf in that regard when you think about it like that. So yeah, that means your grass moves are also getting boosted, which means you're getting Stab on top of 50%, on top of healing at the end of every turn, while potentially running leftovers or something like that, and then you're also going to do even more damage on a Horn Leech, so you heal more, maybe run the Big Root. Who even knows anymore what's going to happen with these Pokemon? There's like so many different variances in the way you can battle them, and that is really awesome. I think I'm going to have to do a competitive look number 4 now, and just talk about like all the potential terrain combos. We don't even know all the Pokemon's moves, stats, and abilities yet. So, yeah, this is going to be absolutely nuts. And now let's go and check out all of the other Pokemon. So I'm really interested in Primarina because I'm Team Poplio. Let's see what happens. Sparkling Aria is a water-type special move that only Primarina can learn, and it heals the burns of any target it strikes. So I'm guessing it might hit multiple opponents. It also might hit everything on the field. It's special. I'm wondering if it's gonna be like Mystical Fire and that it has a still pretty low base power, but at the same time, in the comment section, I saw a couple people talking about how this can remove gut strategies, which could be pretty solid. I would actually like it if it removed like any status, because then it means you could get rid of like Toxic Heal off of a Glass Score, which could be really interesting, and then like add some other things if people are trying to use status in their favor. But then that does limit you if you're trying to keep like an opponent paralyzed so you're faster than them. It's such an awkward niche move. Unless it already has like 80, 90 base power and you're just going to use it as a regular stab with a decent benefit to it, I don't really see any reason why to use it. As it dances, it releases balloons of water into the area around itself, moving them using the sound waves from its voice. Nice. The sight of moonlight reflecting in its glittering balloons creates a magical scene. Since Primarina controls the balloons using its voice, any injury to the throat can become a grave problem. Its greatest enemies are arid environments and the overuse of its voice during back-to-back battles. That almost sounds sarcastic, but it's also true at the same time. Among the balloons that Primarina releases, some explode when touched while others do not. They jump on the non-exploding balloons and make the sport of their opponents, and then use the exploding ones to chain explosions. That's badass. Primarina's songs have many variations, each one of them changing the motions of its balloons. It has been observed that songs are shared among Primarina living together, so different colonies know different songs. Alright. Water Fairy, Torn Ability. Like, what? It can have so many different hit abilities. Like, what if it gets Pixelate? Then it becomes absolutely broken, because of course it's getting Hyper Voice and all kinds of stuff like that. So, potential? But Water Fairy is also pretty good as well. Next up, we have Cosmog. So we actually get to see in the Japanese trailer, which I'll go and show right now, that it gets me. Tapu Smash, and then like, why that smirk when you Tapu Smash? It gets me, man. It really gets me. But yeah, I think that the animation's pretty cool. I was going to talk about Cosmog, but yeah, just every time. Every time right there. But Cosmog, we know that's the Pokemon Lily's bag. This was confirmed by Polygon, which was confirmed by Nintendo by letting people play the game. And it's a happy little guy. Look at that. So we get more like extended gameplay footage. What a pouty little scared. He's just afraid of some Spearow. And then you get to use it in battle, I guess. And then it's just a pure fairy or pure psychic type Pokemon. I like that though. It kind of like bats at the Pokepuff. So that's a little bit of the extra gameplay that we get to see from the Japanese trailer. It's a little longer, but I don't think it adds really too much extra. So just some of that standard stuff right there. Oh, actually, we get to see more about the battle tree. Also, it looks like you just get to like progress up the tree in a spiraling motion as you go and do things. So that's kind of like the battle tower, and that you keep going up floors and stuff. But yeah, there's red and blue. Which also brings me to the news I was going to talk about with Joe Merrick. Joe Merrick, webmaster of Cerebi, bringing us a lot of Pokemon Sun and Moon news and updates with some really awesome observations. This is clearly what they meant by it all coming together in the Pokemon Direct. Hell, red shirt says 96 on it. I didn't catch that. I did not catch that, but that actually looks really cool. We have the 9 and the 6. So we have Soldier 96 ready for battle in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then also going back to like the battle tower idea with the tree. So this game has so many really awesome features to go on about, and then a lot of people's like timelines and theories are all kind of messed up. That being said, the entire concept of the battle tree is a fantastic way of celebrating 20 years of Pokemon. This is also the first time since Gen 1 where they officially revealed these starter evolutions before launch, and also we now know of 60 new Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon officially. There's only like 80 something from the leaks, so that's like a lot of people thinking, did the leaks didn't reveal everything. The Pokemon Sun and Moon Demo Datamine couldn't have revealed everything if we already know of 3/4 of all the Pokemon that are going to be in the new game. So this is going to be really interesting. Also, the Japanese trailer sure showing us a lot of Cosmog, and then showing the evolution of Red and Blue all the way through it. So that's also going to be really weird for people's timelines and stuff. Man, like there's so much information. So yeah, like this is huge. Cosmog, an extremely rare Pokemon known only to a select few in Alola. At one time, it was known as the Kings of Alola and their heirs, and it was called the Child of the Stars. Ooh. The Aether Foundation is researching this unusual Pokemon, and one of the professors at the Foundation recently dubbed it Cosmog. So it really didn't have a name, and then someone was like, I'm going to make it a pun. Cosmog is very curious and shows no fear of people or Pokemon. If you treat it with any consideration at all, it will take an immediate liking to you. This personality trait often leads it into danger. Cute. Its gaseous body is so lightweight that it's sent flying when the wind blows. When light falls on this Pokemon, Cosmog absorbs it and grows. Wow, it only weighs 0.2 pounds. Holy crap. And it's 8 inches tall. So yeah, it's a very tiny, very lightweight, very small Pokemon. Is that actually the lightest Pokemon now? I'll figure that out at some point. But there we go. So we still have so many more things. Like, this was such a massive Pokemon news reveal. Like, oh my goodness. It's kind of hard to think about that because we already knew so much from the leaks, and then all of this happens, and there's just so much to talk about. So, Darkest Lariat is a Dark-type move that only Incineroar can learn, and it allows Incineroar to deal damage while ignoring the effects of any stat changes on the target that might otherwise be affected by, which is pretty solid if the opponent is boosting defenses. That could be something really good. Does it only ignore the stat changes of the target? If so, then that means you can still like lose attack and stuff and have that hurt you out pretty bad. But it is Incineroar, that's its name. A lot of people are still going to go with Root Hoot or Robin Hoot for the grass evolution, which we will talk about now. So Decidueye, this Pokemon is insane and also has a crazy name. I understand like deciduous trees and stuff, but the U-E-Y, no one knows how to pronounce that, but it is the Aeroquil Pokemon, has a height of 5 foot 3 inches, and it weighs 80 pounds with the ability Overgrow. I'm wondering what kind of hidden ability you can give to that Pokemon, like, to make it crazy. So Spirit Shackle is a ghost-type physical move that only Decidueye can learn. An opponent hit with this move will become unable to flee from battle or switch out for an ally. Again, it has to have good base power or else it's not going to be that... Well, actually, it's still pretty useful. But then the Pokemon's really frail and has a ton of weaknesses because it's a Grass Ghost Pokemon. So, there's a lot of drawbacks to that. But at the same time, it's like, as long as it's 75, 80 base power, maybe it'll get something out of that. And then your opponent gets stuck in. So you kind of like, I really like that this... Like, the Ghost typing on this Pokemon blew my mind. And it's really cool what this Pokemon can do. But because of that, like, yeah, the Spirit Shackle... So, it gives you a Shadow Tag just for free like that whenever you land a hit. And if it's super effective hit, or if you can actually, like, hit the Pokemon, that works out pretty well. I'm wondering how much damage or how fast this Pokemon is going to be. And then that's going to be a lot of it. I just want to read about this Pokemon's lore because it's such a cool Pokemon. This Pokemon is able to move about while completely masking its presence from others. Once an opponent has lost sight of it, Decidueye seizes the chance to attack it unawares. And now you understand why I didn't think that pang was a word, because there is some weird grammar issues on this. In a tenth of a second, the Decidueye plucks an arrow from the quill within its wing and sends it hurling towards its target. The speed is astonishing, but no more so than its precise aim, which enables the arrow quill to pierce the target through and through from half a mile or more away. Holy snap! We don't even have guns that are that good these days, and this is a Pokemon with an arrow. Whew, that's crazy. Decidueye usually acts very cool, but it can become terribly flustered in an unexpected situation like a surprise attack. A skilled Decidueye can boast an acrobatic curved shots. It seems more also able to shoot arrows that reach up through the sky, only come drilling down from above, piercing multiple targets after one another. This is a ruthless, insane Pokemon. And I really like that because with Dartrix, it said that it can like bend the quills of its feathers and stuff and then hook shots. Well, now it can also hook arrows. So everything about this is absolutely awesome. Then other things to talk about. The Z move, the Guardian of Alola Z move, is going to do 75% of the target's remaining hit points. So if you lead off with this move, you can effectively 2-hit KO any Pokemon in the game. But it's your Z move, so only get one of... Like that... This is more of a signature move than a Z move, I would feel. That you only get to use this once, and it doesn't even KO the opponent. The only thing I can think about is if they've done, like, some kind of insanely massive defense boost, and you really need to, like, do something about it. But 75% of the target's remaining hit points might come in handy as your only Z move. We'll see how good Z moves turn out to be. And then also, Battle Tree, where strong opponents await. So the Chinese leaks of us building the Pokemon League are true as well. Pokemon League is where the Elite Four Pokemon trainers with powerful Pokemon partners, and the champion who reigns atop all of the trainers await challengers. A challenger who defeats the Elite Four will become the champion of the Pokemon League. So pretty... like standard stuff. After the growth you achieve through completing the island challenge, will the day come where you also take on the Pokemon League to become the strongest Pokemon trainer. How much of a tease would that be if the league is just never finished in this game? You know, will the day come or will it forever be under construction? Who knows? Oh, that's cool. They show us all the other Pokemon Leagues. Pokemon League from Red and Blue, Pokemon League from X and Y, and then the top of a mountain. Excellent. So I think that's all the news. So many crazy things to talk about, A lot of competitive things potentially happening. Red and blue are in the game. Yeah, like, I can't talk enough about how insane this news reveal has been. So much cool stuff going on, even with the leaks. And this game is going to be massive, fantastic, and has way too many features for anyone to just, like, burn through the game in a month, which I am really excited about. So, guys, enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.